Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I am your host, Chris Shanafel, and I am now joined by 2014 NFL Draft prospect, quarterback out of North Dakota State, three-time FCS national champion, Brock Jensen. Thanks for joining the show, Brock. How's it going, man?
Thanks a lot for having me, Chris. It's going real good out here in sunny San Diego, training and, living it up.
Hey, that sounds good. And in this interview, Brock, we're going to talk about your football career. And I want to start off by simply asking, coming out of high school, why did you decide to attend North Dakota State?
Well, I got overlooked by a lot of schools coming out of high school. I got recruited by Wisconsin and some other, local big schools. And I couldn't crack that first offer. For me, I just needed someone to take a chance on me and just give me one opportunity. And late in the recruiting process, for me, North Dakota State came along, and I wasn't first on their board by any means, but it just so worked out that they ended up offering me late in the process, and I loved it on my official visit there. I got along with the coaches real well, and I knew that it would be a perfect fit for me. They offered me, and I got my one opportunity to extend my college football career.
Fast forward to the 2011 season, which was the first time you won a national championship, 17-6 over Sam Houston State. Entering that first national championship game, did you guys feel as if you were underdogs? I mean, North Dakota State was ranked 4th, and you guys were taking on the number 1 team in the conference, Sam Houston State.
Yeah, we headed into that game, with a lot of confidence. We knew that we were prepared for those guys. I believe Sam Houston was undefeated that year, and they hadn't lost yet. But we had a great week of preparation that week, and we were just excited to play in the championship because we got so close the year before. We lost to Eastern Washington in overtime in the quarters, and we really would have liked our chances if we would have got past Eastern. And we went into that year believing that we were going to accomplish all of our goals, and that was the only game that we had to get past. And they were a great team, Sam Houston, but we knew and believed in each other that we could get it done, and that's what we did.
The next season, you guys were able to make it back to the FCS National Championship game where you would take on Sam Houston State yet again. And you guys got the 39-13 victory in this game. And, Brock, you showed that if you have to, you will run the ball and have some success doing that as you ran for 3 touchdowns. You're also named the MVP of that game. Did winning this championship feel any different than the first one you guys won?
Yeah, it did. Every year's a new year. Each team, you play on. You have new guys. You develop a new identity, and reaching the pinnacle. My sophomore year, as we won the national championship, we wanted to, come into the next year with the same goal. We had a lot of returning starters, a lot of experience coming back, and we knew that it was a realistic goal that we. You take it game by game, obviously, and you can't overlook any opponents. But we got through our conference season, won conference, and then made the great playoff run and to win number 2. And it was just that same belief that we've had the whole time throughout my career that we take it game by game, and stay healthy. And the ball needs to bounce your way sometimes, but a good team like us, we knew that if we play our game, we'd accomplishing all of our goals.
In that 2012 season, Brock, you started all 15 games, leading the team to an almost perfect record at 14-1, and you threw for over 2,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Now, I mentioned you can also run the ball. You ran for over 350 yards and 12 touchdowns that season. Putting up those type of numbers, what were your expectations entering this past season, the 2013 season?
Well, I sat down with my coach, after we won the back-to-back championship, and Coach Brent Vegan, he's my quarterback coach. He was the offensive coordinator throughout my time at NDSU, and he sat down and he's like, hey, you know what? This is your senior year. You need this to be your best year. You've improved every year, and I have different guys around me. A lot of my receivers were young coming into my senior year. I think there's only one. My roommate was the only returning senior receiver, and he looked me in the eye and he just said, you know what, you have to make this your best year, and you have to work with the guys, and you gotta put in the time in the off season, and you really gotta make it work, and that's what we did, and you know what, it ended up being my best year. And, I progressed every year in college, which was very encouraging as far as, the next level goes. I still have my best football yet to play in my career. So, that's got to be very encouraging for people to see. And, also even myself, I'm excited to, take that new challenge and embrace it, grasp it, and take advantage of it.
Like you said, there's no doubt this was your best season, Brock, as you threw for nearly 2,800 yards, 34 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Did you do anything specific in the offseason to up your game, or was it just, the plays that were being called and the talent surrounded around you that allowed you to have so much success?
You know what? It's definitely the talent around you, and it's great play calling. I've had the privilege of playing for Coach Vegan for my 4 years here, and I've gotten comfortable with the system. By the time you're a fifth-year senior and you've been in the same system for 5 years, I mean, you know those plays like you could probably recite them backwards, and just having that experience and working with the guys in the office and being able to relay my knowledge to the younger classmen, getting everybody on the same page, and just working every single day. You don't win games on Saturdays. You win games, in the spring and in the fall camp, and then you go out there and perform what you worked for on Saturday. So that's the kind of mindset we had at NDSU, and that's what that's how we know how to succeed.
This past season, you led the Bison to an undefeated 15-0 season and another FCS National Championship game as you guys defeated Terrence West and the Towson Tigers 35-7. And that was the last college football game that you will play in. And looking back, coming in as a redshirt freshman and having all the success that you have had at NDSU, how would you describe your entire college experience, Brock?
It was a huge blessing being able to go to NDSU. Like I said earlier, I just needed one team to take a chance on me, and I knew that I'd make the best out of that opportunity. I have such a passion for this game of football, and I love developing new relationships with teammates, and being able to buy into what your coaches say, and just go out there on game days and execute the game plan that's been given to you, and there's nothing better than that. And over the course of my career at NDSU, I've had the privilege of playing with very, very good players and playing under a very, very good coaching staff. So there's a lot of things that have to come into play in order to achieve a three-peat like we've done. But it's not just myself. It's a collective, a group of guys that buy into one common goal, and that put a lot of sacrifice into doing so. So it's been an incredible journey, and I can look back on those college years with fond memories and with a big smile on my face.
Now I know you haven't been invited to playing any college all-star games, which is a damn shame. But have you been able to speak with any scouts? And if so, what have they been saying about you, Brock?
After that Kansas State win, we had a lot of scouts come up, and obviously we have two other draft picks in Billy Turner and Marcus Williams. They'll fall somewhere in the draft, not sure where, but the scouts came in after that Kansas State game, and there raised a lot of eyebrows that game, and they were talking to me a little bit, introducing themselves and saying that they were going to keep an eye on me and our team, and just congratulated me, on a great game and to keep it up the rest of the season. So it was cool to talk to those guys and know that you're on their radar. So was a pretty cool experience.
So playing in the FCS, you're playing in the same conference as, Jimmy Garoppolo and Eastern Illinois, Corey Faulkner in Southern Illinois. You have a lot of talent in that conference. Just what would you like to say about the FCS conference, and what would you like to tell people out there about the talent in the FCS?
I've mentioned this many times before in interviews, but there's not a whole lot of difference that separates the FCS level from the FBS level. I think the biggest difference is probably depth. Talent-wise, our starters against a lot of majority of FBS teams, there's not a huge difference there. But it's just the depth. The guy, they don't lose a whole lot. They have a lot more scholarships, and they can play a lot more guys. But going into these games every year, I was fortunate enough to be a part of 4 FBS victories. We didn't lose to an FBS team, and that's due to just knowing that I guess we're the so-called underdog going into this game, but deep down in our heart and within our team, we didn't believe that in any of those games that we went into. We were the better team at the end of the day and overall, really. And it's just a matter of going out there and proving it.
I love it. And Brock, one last question about your college football career, then we'll talk a little bit about the future, and that is, and you have a lot of them, what is the most memorable play, in your opinion, that you've made throughout your college football career?
Oh, man, that's tough, but I can recall one. It was my sophomore year during our first national championship run, and it was the semifinal game against Georgia Southern, and I was just really, really sick. I got the flu the night before, so go figure. The biggest game of my life at that time, the semifinal game, I get the flu, and I was just really down before the game, and just trying to find a way to play in this game, just feeling terrible.
Did you end up throwing on the Michael Jordan flu game tape?
You know what? I didn't. I just wanted to lay down as much as I could before the game to conserve every ounce of energy going into that game, because I didn't want to hand the ropes to the backup and put them in that situation of trying to carry our team and lead our team to victory. In the semifinal game, having that be his first start. So you know what? I just prayed there. A lot before the game. Really thought about the situation, and I just knew that I needed to play the game. That was our best chance, as an offense to be successful. So to get to my favorite play here, it was the second half, the first drive. I just came out of the locker room, got some IVs in me. I hadn't eaten 24, 25 hours, and I took a fake handoff to a guy coming in motion, and ran a 55-yard touchdown down the side and had to dive for the pylon. So that was a pretty fun memory for me, just because of the circumstance.
No throw up after that run, right?
Yeah, I threw it multiple times in that game.
Chris Schanfeld talking with 2014 NFL draft prospect Brock Jensen. And Brock, like I said, just a few more questions, then I'll let you go. And I'll go ahead and ask you, if you would compare yourself to a quarterback currently playing in the NFL today, who do you think that would be and why?
That's a good question. You know what? I believe, I think it's important to compare yourself to the best guy, whether it's the style that you play or not. And in my opinion, Aaron Rodgers is right up there as one of the elite quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. And that's just my opinion. But, watching him play,
That's I've done my research on you, man. I know you're a Green Bay Packers fan, man, and I can't be having you hype up Aaron Rodgers on this Chicago-based radio show, man.
No, but I'm serious. Like watching him playing and seeing him and his game and seeing him in the pocket, he can tuck it down and run in situations of, if there's no guys open, if they're playing man, and you step up in the pocket and you see gap, he'll tuck it down and run, use his legs to get yards. He's got a really strong arm. He's accurate. If there's a guy that I want to replicate my game after, it's him. And I just continue to strive to be to improve my weaknesses and to strengthen the positives of my game day in, day out. Hopefully I get a good opportunity and can take advantage of it like Aaron's done it over in Green Bay.
Hey man, there's no doubt he's talented. I mean, he's been putting a smackdown on my Chicago Bears over pretty much ever since he's gotten the starting job. So that's definitely a good comparison for you, Brock. My next question for you is: let's say there's an NFL general manager listening to this interview right now. Why should he want Brock Jensen, quarterback out of North Dakota State, on his team?
Well, you know what? First and foremost, I'm a competitor, and above anything else, a guy could be faster than me, stronger than me, this or that. But at the end of the day, I know in my heart that there's not going to be a better competitor out there, and I'm willing to work as hard as I can and learn. I'm very, very coachable. I catch on quickly, and it's just about giving me that chance. My story, out of high school to college, I needed that one chance to make the best out of it, and that's what I did. And that's exactly my transition to this next phase of my career. To the college to the pro transition. That's the kind of the same scenario that I'm in right now. I just need that opportunity, and I'll be able to prove myself like I've done in the past.
Have you even began to think that the next time you suit up for a football game, chances are that it'll be for an NFL team, Brock?
Man, you know what? No, I haven't. But that's an awesome thing to think about. As long as I keep working hard, I continue to keep that dream alive, and make it happen.
Absolutely. We got the Pro Day, the NFL Combine, and the NFL Draft coming up, man. How excited are you for all this stuff to take place?
I'm very excited. One thing that I can handle right now, though, and take care of on my end is just working as hard as I can. Listen to my quarterback coach, listen to the strength trainers that I'm working with right now, and just taking care of my body, taking care of myself, and just putting myself in that position to when I get that call, to make the best out of it. So it's a very exciting time, and not only for me but for my family and friends. And it's something that I've always I wanted to go through this process.
Now I know it's something you can't control, but are you confident that you will hear your name being called at some point during the 2014 NFL Draft?
Yeah, you like to think that there's a really good possibility, from what my agency tells me and what my agent tells me, there's definitely a possibility there, and you just kind of have to play that waiting game and just kind of wait to hear your name, hopefully.
Well, I can tell you this, you're working with a great agency in 7 Sports Group, and I know you've been training lately. You've been training actually with a former guest of the show in Jeff Garcia. He's a great guy. Do you mind sharing how you've been doing in training and how it's all going?
Yeah, well, I'm just getting underway here. We had our first workout this past Saturday, and this is our first week kind of getting back into it, so I'm really, really sore. I got actually a little massage appointment here later on I'm looking forward to, but working with Jeff Garcia yesterday was a great experience. He's a long-time NFL player. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, I believe. He's got a lot of experience. Something that you can't, you can go from quarterback coach to quarterback coach all across the nation, but you can't really replace a guy that's been there and done that and has that experience and that resume and has all that knowledge built up over the course of his career. And for him to relay that to me, that's a very humbling position to be in, and I'm just excited to continue to work with him and learn from him and definitely take a lot of notes and do what he says.
Brock, I seriously cannot thank you enough for your time, man. I really do appreciate it. I'm wishing you nothing but the best. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to myself and our listeners?
Man, I just appreciate you having me out here, Chris. It's been fun, and go Bison.
Hey, man, once again, best of luck with training. I'm wishing you nothing but the best, and take care, all right?